Let's bring in our guests right now. We have Mark Geist. He's the founder of the Shadow Warriors Project, member of Benghazi Annex Security Team, and co-author of 13 Hours. Also with us, Victor Marx, founder of All Things Possible. He's a U.S. Marine, also gubernatorial candidate. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Lydia, thanks for having us.
So I just had that breaking news for you. I know there's a lot of skepticism, right, surrounding all of this, the peace in the Middle East, because this is something that has been going on for so long, so much turmoil there. And during President Trump's first term in office, we saw peace in the Middle East, and now he's back. He said that was top of his agenda, to bring peace again back into the Middle East. What do you think about this? Let's start off with you, Mark. What do you think about the fact that now we're seeing this breaking news coming across that Israel agreeing to initial withdrawal line in Gaza? But of course, this also is dependent upon Hamas disarming, demilitarizing. What do you think about all this?
You know, I think it's going to be a struggle, as always has been. You know, the distrust that's been between these two groups of people living in the same area, such close contact, is very difficult for them to overcome that discourse. You know, they've talked already, at least I've seen some information online about them talking about a new government in Gaza, which, you know, the people of Gaza voted in Hamas. So how are they going to, now who are they going to vote in next? And how are they going to be to Israel? And that's one of the big challenges right now, I think.
Mm-hmm. And then, Victor, you also traveled to Israel in 2023 to assist victims in the aftermath of the October 7th Hamas attacks. I mean, you saw the atrocities of what happened there. Talk to me about what you're thinking right now, and about all the conflict, and about, you know, the propaganda war that's also now being waged against Israel.
Yeah, Lydia, we were there days after Hamas attacked, and you're right. We had access and placement, and Mark and I have seen a lot of horrific things in our day, and this was some of the worst I'd ever seen. Into the kibbutzes, seeing the horrendous bloodshed of innocent people. And we even got to the point where I was part of a special operations team that went into Gaza City during the fighting. We were there to help women and children. And I will tell you that there were over 2,000 rockets fired into Israel while we were there trying to do humanitarian work. So the problem is, and I can say this firsthand, having trained Israeli fighters, that they really don't want to have to kill and destroy. They just want the hostages back. They want the rockets to stop being launched. And again, this is going to surprise people, but there are a lot of Arabs and Muslims inside of Israel, and there's a lot of good Palestinians. The problem is Hamas, a terrorist organization that has taken control, and they don't care about Palestinians at all.
No, they certainly don't. So, Mark, let's talk about the propaganda war, because there is a lot of misinformation out there. You see a lot of the people out on the streets, and anybody with a heart, nobody wants to see innocent women and children being killed, a genocide happening. Can you talk about the propaganda war that is happening in Israel? You see it all over the world. You're seeing the streets. You're seeing the college campuses. Hamas is winning that propaganda war against Israel, because there are a lot of people, they do believe that there are innocent lives being taken during this conflict.
You know, in any conflict that I've ever been involved in or studied, unfortunately, there is always going to be some civilian casualties. It's just a matter of, you know, the organizations like Israel, the Israeli army, they do go to great efforts to try to not engage with areas where there's huge civilian populations. They don't want to do that because they know how that is, and they're on the receiving end of that. Hamas isn't accountable to a lot of these people who are protesting here in America. They don't have to. They don't remember to be accountable to them, because they're not. No one forgets, or everyone forgets, that they're firing rockets into Israeli homes, Israeli civilians that are dying. And, you know, American veterans, we have a unique skill set that's learned from serving our country and are very applicable to post-conflict humanitarian ops. And we need to go be a part of this moving forward into trying to solve this problem, as well as alongside of the Israelis and the civilians of Palestine.
Victor, final 30 seconds to you. How hopeful are you that we might see this conflict be resolved?
Well, negotiations are always better than bullets, but there's a time where there's no other choice but to fight evil back. And we hope and are praying that this will be the beginning of greater resolution. Again, if people want this conflict to stop, they simply need to release the remaining hostages, and it will stop. I can tell you that. And here in America, that's one of the reasons why I'm running for governor in Colorado, because we have to fight extremist viewpoints. And it's here in our major cities. And that's one of the reasons why we're standing up again to negotiate, stand against, but not back down against extremist views, which end up with horrific violence, like we saw the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a friend of ours.
All right, gentlemen, we'll have to leave it right there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you.